In Uttanasana, release the brain first. On inhalation, release the brain in. On exhalation, release the brain out. Keeping the brain passive that way, eyes, ears, tongue, throat also. Being grateful to God for what you can do. Release the trapezius skin more and more and more towards the pelvis. Consider extending the trunk from the front of the spine towards the floor. From the back of your spine, of the vertebral column, I should say, move the trapezius skin towards the pelvis. So even though it is a forward bend, so-called, it's actually a forward fold. Within that forward fold, particularly the upper part of the chest is doing a back bending action. And inhale and come up. To seek a deeper physical balance is very closely related to psychological balance. So watch briefly. Go to Vrikshasana, lifting your left knee first up. Bring the hands to Namaste position. Keep your eyes open. In Uttanasana, it's quite correct that you want to take your left knee as far back towards the wall as you can. However, be careful that the movement of the left knee towards the wall must come from the head of the femur. Don't move your left hip bone back. If I come and stand in front of you and I touch your both hip bones with my fingers, both the hip bones should be equally away from the wall. When you bend the left knee, the left hip bone tends to go back. You're also untucking the left half of the pelvis more. Tuck the pelvis. So the left knee goes back towards the wall by a lot of freedom around the head of the left femur. It doesn't go back by stretching the groin. When you place the right heel, the left heel against the right thigh, try to put it to the center of the thigh bone. As high up as possible to the center of the thigh bone. This is Vrikshasana 1. Go ahead and release the knee. Thank God that you have only two sides. And again, if you want to bring the right foot up, your whole chest doesn't have to go down. Keep the chest lifted and bring the right foot up. Pay attention to the same thing we were talking about earlier, which is wide space in the sacrum, keeping both the hip bones equally forward. Actually, the hip bones rotate towards each other, which means when the right knee is up in Vrikshasana, since we know that the right hip bone tends to go back more, right half of the pelvis untucks more, when you bring the hip bones towards each other, there is much more attention on the right hip bone to bring it around. No, if you forcefully take the right knee back, the sacrum locks. Don't do that. Yes, keep it open like that.
So in stabilizing the mind in asana, that's part of psychological balance? I imagine there's more to psychological balance than that. Can you speak to that a little more?
Because it has to do with your thinking pattern. What you want to teach yourself, and what I would emphasize to start with is use the thought with alertness, but minimize the use of the thought. So if you are told, you are standing in Tadas and you are told go to Trikona, to Uttanasana, don't think of, mother-in-law and everything else. Okay? The thought should be singular, Uttanasana. Eliminate all other extraneous thought. That will not be easy because the tendency is one thought dies, the other takes over. Okay? That chain continues. You want to see that when one thought finishes, there is a slight gap before the next thought begins. You want to pay attention to that gap and increase that gap. As you watch, you will find a thought that you have not invited comes. If you try to push that thought away, it becomes more powerful. Don't try to suppress a thought. Instead, welcome that thought and say, yes, I know you. You always come Have a seat, I'm busy. Create that tendency in the mind. A thought comes that you have not invited. You recognize that an uninvited thought, which means in this kind of approach, you don't keep telling with your thought, even the body move this, move that, rotate the femurs, widen the sit bones and so on. Instead, you bring the thought to a singular stable position. Hold the posture not by thinking of doing everything. Hold the posture by singular thought of, I have created a posture as best as I can. Now I'll simply be stable in the position. The breath will naturally move. It should move. Try and listen to the instruction for the rest of the class if you can, with that singular attention, which means if I ask you to do a posture, don't take the thought anywhere else. Particular thought is required, even that you want to minimize. So if I now say Trikonasana, do what is necessary using the thought. Do not let the thought go anywhere else. Any other thought that comes, you tell that thought, I'm busy, stay away from it. Okay. Now, seated in Dandasana, having adjusted everything that you can, hold the posture. The breath naturally moves. Keep the mind completely stable as there is an observation of the breath.